As expected, Apple has released the first beta of the new iOS 26.3. Well, it seems like just yesterday they released iOS 26 to the public, and we're already on the first beta of 26.3, which is actually amazing. Of course, these updates will bring new features and changes to iOS 26, making it always better than it was before. So in today's video, we're taking a look at this update, and we have some really interesting stuff to talk about, but also we're going to talk about the next releases of iOS 26.3 and why I believe it is actually a bad idea to install right now iOS 26.3 on your device, but we can talk about that later. Let's first focus on the latest update and all the cool new stuff that you will find on this update, and also we have some really good news when it comes to performance of the new iOS 26.3. Now, first of all, let's talk about the size of the update. Now, we're already custom with this. Huge updates for iOS 26 betas, and this has happened since the beginning, since the first beta of iOS 26 back in June. And as you can see right here, 26.3 will come to your device at around 8 gigabytes. Of course, this will be different on different devices, but it should be somewhere around 8 gigabytes, maybe 9 or 7, but it should be somewhere around here. Quite a big update, of course, quite a huge size there for a beta. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number of this update. So this is the new build number for iOS 26.3 Beta 1, 23D5089E. This is the new build number ending with an E, indicating that there probably won't be a lot of betas for this update before it goes live to the public, but we can talk about that in a minute. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about all the cool new features that you will find on this update. First off, we're talking about the wallpapers. From the lock screen, when you go to create a new wallpaper, you will see something different here when you go to the wallpapers collection. Now, there used to be a section for weather and also astronomy, but as you can see now, that has changed. Now, Apple has separated these two sections, hopefully with the intention to bring extra new features or extra wallpapers to these two sections. And you will see we have some new options right here. So some pre-created options here for the astronomy, which look pretty cool, with of course the liquid glass clock. So we have now two different sections instead of one. And we have now a new option for transferring to Android. Apple has actually made it very easy for any iPhone user that wants to transfer to Android to do that with the new iOS 26.3 Beta 1. So head on to the general settings and then scroll all the way down when you have here the transfer and reset section. Now right here you will have a button to transfer to Android. You tap right there, and as you can see right here, it will give you the step-by-step guide on how you can process with transferring everything that you have on your iPhone to your Android device. Now, if you have transferred before from an iPhone to another one, you know that the process is actually very easy. It is very convenient. It will just transfer everything with a few clicks. Now you will be able to actually do that using an Android device as well. And as you can see right here, it says place your devices next to each other, place your Android next to your iPhone to get connected and begin the transfer process. And of course, you will have here the option to continue, and then you will also have a learn more section right here. And as you can see, you will have to actually identify with your Face ID or passcode before you try to process with the transferring of the data to your Android device. And we also have a new option here for notifications. So as you can see right here under notifications, you will have now a new section for notifications forwarding. Now this will basically be added to iOS 26.3 to comply with the new rules in EU, but it allows us to basically forward notifications to different accessories. So right here it says notifications can be forwarded at one at an accessory at a time. Notifications will not appear on the Apple Watch while the notifications are being forwarded. So this is a new option which I think will be available only on EU. Now, one of the best things about these updates of iOS 26 is of course the performance. The performance is always great, and Apple did it again. iOS 26.3 also has an amazing performance. And you can see it right here on Geekbench 6, right here on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The single core score is at almost just shy of 2,999, while we have an amazing multi-core score at 7,626. And this is actually just beta 1, and it's just the day of the installation, which means that in the future, in the next 3 to 4 days, it will most likely even perform better. So we should get an even better score with this update, even on beta 1, a few days after this update settles in on the device, which is again amazing. Now, as far as battery usage goes, of course, we cannot say anything until we have tested the battery and we have used it for a few days here on the iPhone, but it should be good. The iOS 26.2 actually has quite a good battery life, and this hopefully will improve a bit, but we'll have again to wait and see for that. I will of course do a follow-up video on the weekend about this update, so until then we should have like a more clear view of the battery performance with iOS 26.3 beta 1. And now let's talk about updating and next releases and why I believe you shouldn't actually update to iOS 26.3 beta 1. Now here's the reason. This is most likely the last update that Apple will release this year. Probably it is. I'm pretty sure it is. So you can see it's the 16th the day. The update was released yesterday. Next week will start, of course, the holiday season, Christmas and New Year's, and then of course everyone will be off, so don't wait for an update during this year. So I know we have also like 2 weeks until the end of the year, but these 2 weeks will be holidays, so no update, and probably no update for the first week of January as well. So from beta 1 of iOS 26.3, which was released on the 15th, I would expect actually like 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks until January 12th, or maybe sometime right here, the middle of the week of January, starting with the 5th, maybe 6th or 7th. We'll have to wait and see when Apple will finish the holiday. But again, for at least 3 weeks, you won't be getting a beta 2. So if you update right now and you have any issues with your device, especially if you have this installed on your daily device, then that will be a problem because you will have to wait for at least 3 weeks to get a second beta, which might fix your problem. So that's why I believe you should actually wait for the second beta before you try to update your device to the new iOS 26.3. So what's next? What to expect? Again, the second beta most likely here the first half of January. I would expect Apple to move on, of course, then with the weekly releases, and most likely we're going to see like 4 betas, and I would expect the final release of iOS 26.3 to be somewhere around the middle or the beginning of February. The 2nd or the 9th of February most likely will be the dates that Apple releases iOS 26.3. So that's basically it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Of course, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you on the next one.